Hi guys, this is day one of animation practice. So what's gonna go ahead and happen, as always, I'm going back to the animation exercises that are going to help me improve myself in Flipaclip. And I'm starting with drawing a plane here. So today we're working on the first animation that you saw there at the beginning of this video, and we are creating a bouncing ball. So there's a few animation principles that we are actually going to apply to this, but I'm just going to talk a lot more into the mechanics of creating this exercise in Flipaclip. So you can see I turned my canvas on the other side and I used the ruler to draw the ground plane. So I'm not going to redraw this over and over again. I'm going to create one ball and then I'll keep duplicating it over and over again and keep and just keep skewing it and adjusting it accordingly. So this is frame number one, and you can see we have a ground floor and we have a ball. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on it, copy it, and then I'll paste it forward. So now we have two frames with the same exact information. So I'm gonna use my lasso tool, select this and bring it down a little bit. So there is one principle here already in use, that there's going to be ease out. So what's gonna go ahead and happen is that ball is gonna start off kind of slow on top, which means the frames on top are going to be way close to each other, because the closer the frames are to each other, the slow the animation is going to be. So what's going to go ahead and happen, we're going to have about 5 or 6 frames up here, pretty much very close to each other, and I'm watching the distance that I'm leaving in between these. So that's why I have the guide on. You can see the guide in the back. You can turn that on in Flipaclip. So now that I have about 5, I'm gonna start to quicken it a little bit, and you can see it's still not very fast, it's a little bit gradual, but I'm applying another principle here, which is stretch. So you can see in that frame there I added a little bit of stretch. Now I'm gonna go ahead and copy this, paste it forward, and now in the next one I'm not just gonna add stretch, but I'm gonna make it go a little bit faster all the way down. I'm gonna stretch it, and I'm gonna also squash it a little bit to add a lot more illusion of movement. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and duplicate this. So we're going more towards the end now, which means that is enough squishing. So now the end one is going to be able to touch the line on the bottom in order for me to just kind of create the impact. And remember, as soon as the ball goes all the way to the impact, now it's going to squash the other way around. So what's going to go ahead and happen, I'm going to copy the first frame that I did, and I'm going to bring this still perfectly round ball on the ground, and I'm going to squash and squish. I'm going to squish and squash it a little bit in the sides, because now this is the ball that just hit the floor and there is some impact there. So what's going to go ahead and happen, I'm going to squash it a little bit, and now to exaggerate even a little bit farther, I'm going to copy this same frame. I should have put the ground plane on another frame, on another layer, but it's fine, I'll work with it. So I'm going to squash even farther to use some kind of exaggeration. Exaggeration too is a form or is a principle of animation, and you can see it's pretty satisfying already. You can see the ball bounces, and then one mistake that usually people do is they do the same exact frames going back up, so it just appears as a loop. But what happens is, going back up, you don't need the frames that you created first. So what we're gonna do is I will copy. Let me actually fill this in first. Let me fill them in so we can see the volume and the form as the ball bounces all the way down. So I selected a little slide of black color. It's not as dark as the one that I used to draw the stroke of the ball. And I'm just using the paint bucket here and filling it in. And so you can see now with the form, it looks even a lot better. But it snaps so fast to go back up, and I'm gonna try to mitigate that a little bit. So you want it to snap back like that, but this is way too much. it's way too much, almost invisible the way it's snapping back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use 2 frames to try to create the illusion of the ball going back up without snapping too much. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this frame right here that shows the squash right before impact. I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna put it right after the exaggerated squash, the last frame, the exaggerated squash. And I'm gonna go ahead and copy the second frame. So remember, it started going down slowly, and I don't want the last frame to be the last frame because it will have a little bit of a jitter. So I'm gonna copy the second frame and I put it all the way to the end, and now you can see it's seamless. It's seamless. So there's a lot of interactions here and there's a lot of experimentation, but I realized that copying those 2 frames actually will give you the best snapback. You could see it in this right now. And this is now cute, this looks good, and this is, I think, what we were shooting for. So we're gonna go ahead and export our movie. Click on the 3 dots over here and click export, name your movie, and it's gonna be an MP4 and it already exported. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching.